Hey guys, so this is our reading of The Witches. I know it's been a long time, so I'll give you just a little recap. Remember, we're reading about a boy and his grandmother, and the grandmother has been telling him all about how witches are real and they decided to go for a little vacation. She was sick, so they went somewhere close. They were in England, and the boy got some mice that he was playing with, and he was playing with them and training them in a big ballroom. And then the witches decided to have their annual meeting, and it was in that very ballroom. So he's hiding and kind of listening to all the things that are happening. And then in the last chapter, there was a witch who questioned the Grand High Witch, who was the leader, and the Grand High Witch fried her. So this chapter it's chapter 8, and it's called Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker. Here we go. Children are revolting, screamed the Grand High Witch. We will wipe them all away. We will scrub them off the face of the earth. We will flush them down the drain. Yes, yes, chanted the audience. Wipe them away, scrub them off the earth, flush them down the drain. Children are foul and filthy, thundered the Grand High Witch. They are, chorused the English witches. They are foul and filthy. Children are dirty and stinky, screamed the Grand High Witch. Dirty and stinky, cried the audience, getting more and more worked up. Children are smelling of dogs' droppings, screeched the Grand High Witch. Pooh, cried the audience. Pooh, pooh, pooh. They are worse than dogs' droppings, screeched the Grand High Witch. Dogs' droppings smell like violets and primroses compared with children. Violets and primroses, chanted the audience. They were clapping and cheering almost every word spoken from the platform. The speaker seemed to have them completely under her spell. To talk about children is making me sick, screamed the Grand High Witch. I am feeling sick even thinking about them. Fetch me a basin. A basin is water, so she wants them to get her water. The Grand High Witch paused and glared at the mass of eager faces in the audience. They waited, wanting more. So now, barked the Grand High Witch, so now I am having a plan. I am having a giganticus plan for getting rid of every single child in the whole of England. Remember, that's how she says England. The witches gasped. They gaped. They turned and gave each other ghoulish grins of excitement. Yes, thundered the Grand High Witch. We will skish them and scallop them. We shall make them disappear. Every smelly little brat in England in one stroke. Is that kind of weird? Whoopee! Cried the witches, clapping their hands. You are brilliant. Oh, your grandness. You are fantabulous. Shut up and listen, snapped the Grand High Witch. Listen very carefully and let us not be having any mistakes. The audience leaned forward, eager to learn how this magic was going to be performed. Each and every one of you, thundered the Grand High Witch, is to go back to your hometowns immediately and resign from your jobs. Resign, give notice, retire. So she's telling all these witches to quit their jobs. We will, they cried. We will resign from our jobs. And after you have resigned from your jobs, the Grand High Witch went on, each and every one of you will be going out, and you will be buying. She paused. What will we be buying? They cried. Tell us, O brilliant one. What is it we shall be buying? Sweet shops, shouted the Grand High Witch. Sweet shops, they cried. We are going to buy sweet shops with a frumptuous wheeze. Each of you will be buying for herself a sweet shop. You will be buying the very best and most respectable sweet shops in England. So she's telling them to buy candy stores. We will, they answered. Their dreadful voices were like a chorus of dentist drills, all grinding away together. I am vaunting no tumpany humpany crumpany, little tobacco selling newspaper sweet shops. So she's wanting really nice ones. She doesn't want little ones, shouted the Grand High Witch. I am vaunting you to get only the very best shops filled with high, with piles of luscious sweets and tasty chocs. The best, I cried. We shall buy the best sweet shops in town. You will be having no trouble in getting what you want, shouted the anti-witch, because you will be offering 4 times as much as a shop is worth, and nobody is refusing an offer like that. Money is not a problem to us, as you know very well. I have brought with me 6 trunks stuffed full of English banknotes, all new and crisp. And then, and all of them, she added with a leer, all of them homemade. So she's saying she's got lots of money that she's made herself. The witches in the audience grinned, appreciating this joke. At that point, one foolish witch got so excited at the possibilities presented by owning a sweet shop that she leapt to her feet and shouted, "The children will come flocking to my shop, and I will feed them poisoned sweets and poisoned chocks and wipe them all out like weasels." The room became suddenly silent. I saw the tiny body of the Grand High Witch stiffen and then go rigid with rage. "Who spoke?" she shrieked. "It was you, over there." The culprit sat down fast and covered her face with her clawed hands. "You blithering blumpkin," screeched the Grand High Witch. "You brainless bog vumper. Are you not realizing that if you are going round poisoning little children, you will be caught in 5 minutes flat?" Never in my life am I hearing such a bosh-flopping suggestion coming from a witch. The entire audience cowered and shook. I'm quite sure they all thought, as I did, that the terrible white-hot sparks were about to start flying again, because remember, I told you in the last chapter, if you remember when we originally read it, she's already fried one witch. So the boy is thinking, just like everyone else in the audience, that this witch is going to get fried next. Curiously enough, they didn't. "If such a tom-fiddling idea is all you can be coming up with," thundered the Grand High Witch, "then it is no wonder England is swarming with rotten little children." And there was another silence. The Grand High Witch glared at the witches in the audience. "Do you not know," she shouted at them, "that we witches are working only with magic?" "We know, your grandness," they all answered. "Of course we know." The Grand High Witch grated her bony gloved hands against each other and cried out, "So each of you is owning a magnificent sweet shop. So each of you, the next move is that each of you will be announcing in the window of your sweet shop on a certain day that you will be having a great gala opening with free sweets and chocs for every child. That will bring them in, greedy little brutes," cried the audience. "They'll be fighting to get through the doors. Next," continued the Grand High Witch, "you will prepare yourself for the great gala opening by filling every choc and every sweet in your magic shop with my very latest and greatest magic formula. This is known as Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker." "Delayed action mouse maker," they chanted. "She's done it again, her grandness. She's concocted yet another of her wondrous magic child killers. How do we make it, oh brainy one?" Oops, sorry. It's actually this picture. "Exercise patience," answered the Grand High Witch. "First, I am explaining to you how my Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker is working. Listen carefully." "Oh, we are listening," cried the audience, who were now jumping up and down in their chairs with excitement. "Delayed action mouse maker is a green liquid," explained the Grand High Witch, "and one droplet in each choc or sweet will be quite enough. So here is what happens. Child eats choc which has in it delayed action mouse maker liquid. Child goes home feeling fine. Child goes to bed still feeling fine. Child wakes up in the morning, still okay. Child goes to school, still feeling fine. Formula, you understand, is delayed action and is not working yet. So delayed means it takes a little while. We understand, oh brainy one, cried the audience. But when does it start working? It starts to work at exactly 9 o'clock. Then the child is arriving at school, shouted the Grand High Witch triumphantly. Child arrives at school. Delayed action mouse maker immediately starts to work. Child starts to shrink. Child is starting to grow fur. Child is starting to grow a tail. All is happening in precisely 26 seconds. After 26 seconds, child is no longer a child. It is a mouse. A mouse, cried the witches. What a frumptious thought. Classrooms will be all swarming with vice, shouted the Grand High Witch. Chaos and pandemonium will be reigning in every school in England. Teachers will be hopping up and down. Teachers will be standing on desks and holding up skirts and yelling, help, help, help. Oh, they will, cried the audience. And what, shouted the Grand High Witch, is happening next in every school? Tell us, they cried, tell us, O brainy one. The Grand High Witch stretched her stringy neck forward and grinned at the audience, showing 2 rows of pointed teeth, slightly blue. She raised her voice louder than ever and shouted, Mouse Traps is coming out. Mouse traps, cried the witches. And cheese, shouted the Grand High Witch. Teachers is all rushing and running out and getting mouse traps and baiting them with cheese and putting them down all over the school. Mice is nibbling cheese. Mouse traps is going off and all over the school. Mouse traps is going snippety snappity and mouse heads is rolling across the floors like marble. All over England, in every school in England, noise of snapping mouse traps will be heard. At this point, the disgusting old Grand High Witch began to do a sort of witch's dance, up and down the platform, stamping her feet and clapping her hands. The entire audience joined in the clapping and the foot stamping. They were making such a tremendous racket that I thought surely Mr. Stringer would hear it and come banging at the door. But he didn't. Remember, Mr. Stringer is the manager at the hotel. Then, above all the noise, I heard the voice of the Grand High Witch screaming out some sort of an awful gloating song. Down with the children, do them in, boil their bones and fry their skin, bish them, squish them, bash them, mash them, break them, shake them, slash them, smash them. Offer chalks with magic power, say eat up, then say it louder, cram them full of sticky eats, send them home still guzzling sweets, and in the morning, little fools, go marching off to separate schools. A girl feels sick and goes all pale. She yells, hey, look, I've grown a tail. A boy who's standing next to her screams, help, I think I'm growing fur. Another shouts, we look like freaks. There's whiskers growing on our cheeks. A boy, whose was extremely tall, cries out, what's wrong? I'm growing small. 4 tiny legs began to sprout from everybody round about, and all at once and all in trice, there are no children, only mice. In every school is mice galore, all running round the schoolroom floor. And all the poor demented teachers is yelling, hey, who are these creatures? They stand upon these desks and shout, get out, you filthy mice, get out. Will someone please fetch some mouse traps, please? And don't forget to bring the cheese. Now mouse traps come and every trap goes snippity snip and snappity snap. The mouse traps have a powerful spring. The springs go crack and snap and ping. Is lovely noise for us to hear. Is music to a witch's ears. Dead mice is at every place around, piled 2 feet deep upon the ground, with teachers searching left and right, but not a single child in sight. The teachers cry, what's going on? Oh, where have all the children gone? It's 9:30, and as a rule, they're never late for school. Poor teachers don't know what to do. Some sit and read, and just a few amuse themselves throughout the day by sweeping all the mice away. And all us witches shout hooray. All right, that's the end of chapter 8. I hope you enjoyed it.